Today, I have Kurt Thomas with Cttc. You got to work on that name. That's really hard to say. Chisholm Trail Technology Center. And are you the superintendent, director? What's your actual title?
I'm the superintendent at Chisholm Trail. Yes.
Okay. And you're a native Kingfisher person.
Yes, I've lived there since started first grade in Kingfisher and then graduated high school there. And then I was gone for about 18 years through different jobs and then came back once I got the Chisholm Trail job. And so it's been great to be back.
Is it something you're excited about, or is it, oh, what was I thinking kind of a thing?
It's something I'm excited about. You know, it was great for me to get out and experience other school districts. Mm-hmm. I worked for 3 other districts before Chisholm Trail.
And you were in another career tech. You were
in 2 other career techs, yes. Yep. Started out in public education as a teacher and a coach in Edmond, and loved my time there. But after 8 years, I was ready for a change and do something different. And I had an opportunity to go to Autry Tech and work in their business and industry department. I was over adult education, which gave me a experience in a different aspect than just high school students and full-time programs. And so that was really valuable for me and a great learning experience. And then I moved on to Francis Tuttle after 3 years at Autry as an administrator in health sciences.
In Stillwater or?
In Oklahoma City.
Okay.
And spent 2 years there as an assistant director, and then moved on to Chisholm Trail. So.
Wow. Okay. So you came up. You were prepared for the superintendent's job. I mean, it wasn't just like teacher to the boss.
Yeah. Fortunately, I was able to experience some different aspects of career tech. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of people just see the full-time programs. I think a welding program or an auto program, but we've got multiple arms that we serve in career tech, and just like our business and industry department or adult education, career tech has skill centers and in prisons and things like that, truck driver training, and so
forget about the outreach stuff.
We do all kinds of different aspects of education, and so I really appreciate the time I was able to spend at other schools in the career tech system. I had some great mentors during that time that I still call today and ask for advice, and so I really feel like I was fortunate to learn from some great people.
Well, I've learned a lot. You know, we spend a lot of time out at the school,
yes.
And I always thought of it as welding and nursing.
Yes.
And there's so much more, and I didn't even take into consideration the outreach. Well, I guess it's outreach, the truck driver thing, and you have an actual truck driving school out there. That was pretty neat to witness, and don't stand too close to them.
That's right. Yeah. People, I think when they see the impact we have statewide, when you count, your FFA programs or career tech programs, your DECA programs, your full-time programs, your business and industry trainings, total, we do over 500,000 enrollments statewide as a system. And so we have a really deep and extensive impact statewide. And a lot of people are always surprised at the things that we do as a system. Just like you said, when you came out there, you're thinking to see a welding program. Well, we do pre-engineering. We've got a truck driver training facility. We encompass a lot of different things, and we're getting ready to add our 10th full-time program at Chisholm Trail. And so really excited about the offerings we have for students.
And we'll talk about the future here in a minute, but shifting gears here really quick. I'm going to surprise you with this thing.
Okay.
So, I work with a lot of people, and in fact, the other day we were at your Tech Explore camp.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that in a minute. But you came up to me and you're in a T-shirt, and I didn't recognize you right away because Kurt's always in I call it his uniform. And so I'm going to give you an award. You're my best dressed person. I mean, of everyone we interact with. So here is your major award, and you can put that on your credenza with the rest of your major awards. So I appreciate your professional appearance.
Thank you.
And it's fun to see you in the welding shop with sparks flying, and you still have your suit on, and you represent the school well.
I try to keep my distance. I don't know how flammable suits are, but those sparks can fly quite a ways.
We need to get a fire retardant suit.
That's right.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
right.
And then something else in your personal life recently, you just got married.
Just got married. I think this is 2 weeks in.
Wow.
And so to Kayla, so it's been a great experience. I'm eating a lot better than I was 2 weeks ago. And
Yeah, I'm going to start having to get new suits here
Get
soon.
new suits,
Yeah,
and she's cooking and baking and
no more
things like that.
SpaghettiOs
So,
and Pop-Tarts.
my trips to Brahms and Sonic have slowed down a little bit the last 2 weeks.
That's fun. And you know, you did it very nicely because, you know, usually when somebody's working up to a wedding, it's like, well, I didn't even know until someone told me, hey, Kirk got married yesterday. What?
Yeah.
Didn't even know that was coming. So.
I had several people, but yeah, we just had a small ceremony with our family and siblings, and so we kept it pretty simple.
Very cool. Very exciting. So, how many programs are at, I guess there's a lot more other than just the core, but how many are there total?
As far as our programs at Chisholm
Yeah.
Trail, we're getting ready to start our 10th program this fall, and so 9 of them are high school programs and adult programs, and then our LPN program is an adult-only program, which would bring it to 10.
Okay.
And then we also do adult education. We've got sites in Kingfisher and
Like GED stuff?
like GED stuff that students can come to us on our site. We also have off-site programs in Kingfisher and Watonga that we manage as well, and so we've served a lot of students this year through that program.
Wow. And then the other thing I wasn't, I witnessed recently was a lot of those programs go out into the career world of their, you know, what they're studying. Like the nursing program is a big, where the kids actually spend time in nursing homes and things like that.
Yeah, our students, so if they come to our Health Careers program, they will actually go out and do clinicals to receive that industry certification. And then what a lot of our students do, some of them will go straight to work as a CNA, or they'll come back and they'll get their CMA, which would be the next level up. And then some of them roll into our LPN program and become an LPN, and then some of them will go from there into an RN program. And so really kind of a multifaceted program. If you want to continue to gain certifications,
Well, it's
you can
total
get a lot of
immersion in your career field. And then I guess the other thing that I got to witness welding certification one day, where you had a bunch of young people that actually got their welding certification.
Yes, from a certified welding inspector, and so it gives them great experience. They're able to pick up those industry certifications, and they also learn how to operate under the pressure of a test. And they're pretty nervous on those days because now you've got to put it in a machine, and the machine's going to do the bend and tell you whether it's a good weld or not.
Then I'm running around with a camera, no additional pressure, sure.
Yeah, no additional pressure.
Yeah.
Those students are working for months up to those certifications, and so that's a big deal to be able to pick those up.
Wow, that is amazing. And then the other one that I enjoy, well, there's 2 others that are the IT program. A lot of those kids end up at Pioneer or some other high-tech company.
We've got one of our students that graduated 2 years ago, Christian Thompson. He's running the IT department at USG, United States Gypsum.
Oh, wow.
And he started there at 19, and he got that job. Jaden Snowden just got hired at a company over in Weatherford, and so we're starting to see our students. In fact, the company at Weatherford said we actually prefer students that come out of a career tech program even over college graduates in computer science because of their skill level. And so, and we've heard that often because we focus solely on hands-on skills training.
Sure.
So if you look at our LPN program, those students will actually do more hours of skills training than a bachelor's degree RN, if you look at the degree paths. And so a lot of times when you go to a hospital, you'll have an LPN working on you, and RNs that supervise them a lot of times prefer to have LPNs working for them because of their skill level.
Yep.
And so we really focus on that. We don't really worry about any of the other stuff. We want a highly trained
It's very focused.
Very focused.
I've experienced, not knocking any universities, but we have hired, for our film production company, we've hired quite a few out of a university program, and they had very little practical knowledge.
Yep.
It was a struggle to get them up to speed, where that's the focus with you guys. So,
and what makes, one thing I'll mention that makes the Career Tech system unique is by doing that, we are very flexible. So when we need to shift curriculum or we need to make some type of a change, we do that very quickly. We'll have welding companies that'll come and say, we would like this exact thing to be taught. Nortech, for example, in Okarche. When we have students that apply and get jobs there, maybe their last semester, hey, can you practice with them on this unique weld? And so we'll incorporate that into our programs for those students so that they're more prepared when they leave. And so we're able to be very flexible in our system. We're not a degree path, for 4 years, and you got to take this criteria. We want students prepared for the workforce, and if we need to make a shift, we're not going to say this is how we've always done it. Yeah. We're going to say if we need to make a shift because that's what's good for that student and that's what's good for that company, then we're going to do it and do it very quickly.
So there's a big thing right now, universities versus career techs, and I guess Mike Rowe was one of the big proponents of that
yes.
kind of thing. And why is that? Why do you think that that's a thing? I didn't go to college. I mean, I feel like I'm 20 years behind in my career. I'm now getting to where I should have been in 40, but why is that so important now?
I think one thing that's changed, and we certainly have a lot of kids that come to us that go on to higher ed, and we've got some great partnerships. Southwestern Oklahoma State is one of them. They like our students, they like future students coming through career tech programs, and I'll give you an example. If a student comes through health careers for 2 years and they've learned over 50 plus nursing skills, they've got their CNA license, they're so much better prepared to go into their RN program than a student that just graduates high school and then starts with no knowledge. And so really we really like those partnerships versus us versus higher ed, because we do send a lot of students on to higher ed, and we feel like we can help prepare those students, but we also serve a lot of students that are ready to go into the workforce. What I feel like has changed at the higher ed level is a lot of degrees led to an outcome of a job. And that gap has gotten wider to, there's a lot of degrees that don't really lead to an outcome. And so I think when you do go on to a university, you need to be very specific on what you're going to get. Are you going to get a law degree or a teaching degree or an engineering degree? But if you get a kind of a general studies and you don't have a skill set and now you've spent a lot of money, what outcome does that lead to? And so that's one thing for our system that we really focus on is student outcomes. We're focused on certifications and skill sets. In fact, Ken Coleman, who's on the Dave Ramsey show, if you've ever followed him, he's kind of a business expert. He said a lot of employers are starting to drop degree requirements. They want competencies and skill requirements for employees. And so we feel like that fits us very well. And what we do as a career tech system is that we're teaching those, we're meeting with employers, they're on our advisory committees. We have them involved in our programs, and they help drive what we teach so that when students come out of our programs, they're prepared for the workforce.
Wow. And you start that very young. For example, last week I witnessed your 7th and 8th grade, or maybe it was just 8th grade.
5th and 6th.
Oh, blew that one. Kids in middle school spend 3 days on your campus learning the career path of their choosing. And
Yes.
you had I guess they were all available, weren't they? Or most of them?
Most of them were, yes.
Yeah, and it was fun to see these little, well, they're not little, but middle school age kids with the big eyes, in the nursing program, and they were actually learning CPR and, some other skill sets and interacting with your AI, what's that? What do you call the patient?
Mannequin Alex.
Yeah, he
Yes.
talks to you. He's freaky. Yeah.
Yes.
It's scary what his responses
Yes.
were, and the kids were excited to work with that. And then, of course, in the woodworking shop, or what are you going to call that?
So that'll be construction trades
Okay,
when
well,
we move it into the new building.
Yeah, they were actually making something that they could take home. It was pretty neat.
And that was our goal in all the programs. We've got 3 half days is to try to come up with a project that they can take something home with them that they built or did over the course of that camp. But kind of to extend on from your point, we really emphasize our recruiting. In fact, we go down into the elementary levels, and we participate in open houses amongst our sending schools in August, and we'll set up tables and have activities. And we want students to begin to experience at that age what our programs are about, or at least have an idea in their mind. And then we'll have the 5th and 6th grade camp that they can come to. Then they come on tours as 8th graders, and then they come again as sophomores, and then hopefully they enroll as a junior or senior or adult. Even if they didn't come in high school.
Getting their mind around it, it's frustrating for me. I'll ask a grad, everybody just graduated recently. What are you going to do? I'm going to go to college. For what? I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really expensive way to figure it out.
Yes.
That should have started a few years ago.
Yeah, what you hope is that you're planting seeds amongst the younger kids, and maybe things they've never thought of before, and they come to our welding camp, and I think I'd really like to be a welder one day.
Yeah.
And so we want them, when it comes time to enroll, that they have thought about this for a long time, and parents have seen the opportunities that kids will have once they get to high school. If you start your recruiting just at sophomore level, a lot of times they've already kind of formed an idea or a plan, and they don't want to shift away from that.
Yeah.
We want to be a part of that thought process and plan well before their sophomore year. We want parents and students thinking, man, I want to go to Chisholm Trail, when I get in high school.
And I think it's exciting that you've completely outgrown your campus now, and you're just about finishing up your new building.
Yes.
And so tell us a little bit about that. How big is it, and what's going in there? And
one thing that I'll mention, I was handed a very good situation, at Chisholm Trail. Previous administration had hired great staff members. They had saved money. They had left us in a very good financial position. The culture was great. And so I always say it has very little to do with me. I was handed a really good situation, and that has allowed us to expand. If you go into a situation and the culture's not very good, and you don't have the finances to expand, and you don't have a great staff, you're very limited on what you're going to spend your time fixing problems.
Sure.
And so we've just been able to grow what was given to us. And so I'm very fortunate and grateful for that, that we were set up to be in a position that we can continue to just grow what was already there, versus coming in and trying to fix problems and things like that. So I always like to mention that first. We've got a great teaching staff, and that's our focus. We want to hire the best industry people that we can, that have a heart for kids. And that sometimes is a very small niche of people. A lot of times people don't want to leave industry, or they don't want to work with students. And that's a sacrifice that they make on their part to move into education and bring that industry expertise into the classroom. And so we've worked really hard on the staff that we've hired, and that makes the difference.
I see the passion. The whole health department, those people are career people from that world.
Yes.
And then Sarah over in the graphic department, she's so passionate with her students and how they develop. I guess they're building websites for companies and things now too. So it's neat to see. They're not, they didn't read a book. They don't, just read the book. I could do that at home. I don't have to, go to school to do that, where they're actually getting real world skill sets. So
yeah, and what's been amazing, our instructional staff, we've all found locally. It's been within our career tech district, most of them. So to find local people, we're in a small rural community, and to find local people that are passionate to help kids and are also very good at trade is a difficult thing to do, and we've been very fortunate to find those people and that they've been interested to come to work for Chisholm Trail. And I always think there's nothing more important than you can do than hire a great staff. You know, we want to fill that building with great people, and that makes your job pretty easy at that point, because you've got great people that work hard, that are passionate about students, and that's how you are best able to impact students, is the people that you put around them. And so that is we do our research, we work hard, we go out and knock on doors, you know, to find a great instructional staff, and we've been very fortunate to hire the ones that we have.
Well, let's wrap this up with, tell us about the new building. Okay. What's going in it, and when you're planning to open it.
So we started this almost 3 years ago. We started this project. We knew we needed to add another trade program, and we narrowed it down to adding an electrical trades program. So we built a 15,000 square foot building. On the south end will be our electrical trades program, and Spencer Struck will be the instructor for that program.
Is that a new instructor?
That's a new instructor.
Okay. Yep.
He's from the Kingfisher area, and we're really excited to have him on board. And then we're going to move our welding program. That building was built in 2018, and they've outgrown that. And so we're going to move it into the north end of the building, and then we're going to take our cabinetry program and move it from our main building out to the old welding program. Nice. So we're going to shift a couple programs around and then put in a new program, and that'll lead us to our 10 programs, and we're excited about the opportunities we can offer kids.
Well, and the cabinetry program is changing too. It's construction trade now.
Yes.
So it's a little more versatile?
Yes, a little more versatile. They'll still do some cabinetry work, but they'll shift into more construction type trades, framing, sheetrocking. I think we might do a tiny home as where we'll start. Yeah. And so we've talked about the possibility of that. So that additional space will allow them to do a lot more things than where they're located. And then we just added a second cosmetology instructor. And so I guess that was 2 weeks ago. And so we'll have a 2-instructor cosmetology program next year. So really excited about that. A lot of that has to do with new graduation requirements. The legislature passed new requirements last year. So this year's 8th graders will now be on a new graduation track where they can count their full-time career tech programs to satisfy math and science credits. Wow. And so they can get their 3rd and 4th math credit through attending a program, or they can get their 3rd science credit by attending a career tech program. And so I think that's going to give students a lot of opportunities. You can come to welding and pick up your math or science credits by attending those programs, because we do a lot of math and science in all those programs. And so that's going to be a phenomenal opportunity for students in our district.
It's funny, you know, I was in the welding shop last week, and the instructor was doing geometry to design something for the CAD cutter.
Yes.
And I knew what he was doing. The kids didn't realize they were learning geometry while, you know, getting ready to cut out something in metal.
Yes.
And so it's kind of a sneaky way to slide science
some math in and science.
Yeah.
You know, and you go into the cabinetry program, they've got to take fractions and figure out measurements, and then how they're going to price their project and things like that. Very applicable math. Yes. And it's fun to watch students do that. And so I think we're really seeing a resurgence in the trades and the interest in this generation to go through trades type programs. And so that's very exciting for our future, that we're able to be a part of that. Just like you said, you came to our 5th and 6th grade camp, the excitement of students to do hands-on learning. You know, I know we're so used to this generation having an iPhone in their hand, but that excitement has never changed when kids get to build something. Yeah. And so I think this generation has an opportunity to make a big shift back into the trades and have great opportunities ahead of them.
You know, my challenge in school, I was the kid that just slogged through school because I had no direction. The teacher couldn't answer the question, why am I doing this math, or what's the point of the science? And you guys put that into action. You know, you can easily see that, you know, this science with this science, you could be a nurse or a doctor or whatever, and with this math or geometry and algebra, you can actually make metal things. It's not just about being a rocket scientist. It applies to trades, and
Yes.
things like that. And
For so long, decades, in our education system, we've told kids everybody's got to go to college, and it's one pathway, and we have done everything towards one pathway. Well, if you look at the statistics, college attendance is dropping nationwide, and so we've got 50, 60, 70% in some cases of students have been told there's one pathway that want another pathway.
Sure.
And so we really need to make sure that we're gearing education to fit what's best for students. If you want to be a higher ed pathway, that's great. If you want to be a student that wants to be a welder, that's just as important as the student that's going to go be an engineer. Yeah. And so we're really trying to change the narrative on that in the career tech system as well, that every student is different, every student learns different, every student has different needs, and we need the flexibility to teach all students. And we've got that on our campus. We've got students that they're going to be ready to go right to work after high school, and we've got students that have gone through our pre-engineering program that are working for Garmin. And so you've got a very diverse spectrum of students. And so I really see that changing in education. These graduation requirements are a big part of that, because now you've got your graduation track, and how you graduate can be different for every kid. You want to take the upper level calculus to prepare to be an engineer, great. You want to go to a welding program and count that as your math credit and science credit, now you can do that. And so
it's not an afterthought, or you can't go do welding because you need this math.
Right.
It's now part of
your pathway.
Wow.
And so it's needed to change for a long time. Our graduation requirements have been the same since, I think, the late 90s. We've needed this change, and it's really what's best for students. And so I'm excited how that's going to impact kids in our district.
I'm a little slow, so I just kind of figured out that, universities, although are designed to be very focused, doctor, lawyer, engineer, kind of thing like that, kids were using it as just a broad kind of a thing.
Yes.
And I think that's now shrinking back to, if I want to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, I go to college. If I want to do more of a career-based thing, I go to career-based. So now we have two narrow paths rather than a bunch of trying to figure it out kind of stuff. And if you can get the kids young enough to start thinking that way, that saves a lot of money and time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really see it. We're seeing a shift, and I think students, if they go to work at 18 or 22, whatever pathway they take, is that they're focused on what they want to do, and they find something they're passionate about, and something that they can have a sustainable living and a quality of life, and our programs allow for that. They're all in demand. Try to find an electrician or a welder or an auto mechanic. We've got a lot of jobs to replace from the baby boomer generation, and our gap is almost scary nationwide in skills people. So there's more opportunities for students than they can count. If they're focused and work hard and pick a great pathway.
Just right here, for those of you who don't know, we're in Hennessy today, and I know of probably 8 businesses that are ready to retire. And that's going to leave a big hole in our automotive world, and our monogram, the company that does our monograms on everything, she's retiring. And so we've got to fill restaurant owners, all of these things are like, oh my gosh, we probably should have thought of this a few years ago.
That's right. We've got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah. So I appreciate all that you and your school, and of course your staff, do. A wonderful environment. I haven't met a single person in there that wasn't go out of their way to be helpful.
Thank you.
They're very kind and understanding, and it's a very, very neat program environment.
Yes,
So,
we're excited. Next year we'll have over 200 high school students. That doesn't include our our adults. I think this was the largest incoming class that we've signed. I think we're nearing 1 out of every 2 juniors and seniors being on our campus next year. I think we're about 45, 46% of all juniors and seniors will be on our campus. And so we're excited about that number. Just continues to grow. And I think students and parents are really recognizing the opportunity that kids have while they're in high school to come to us. And if they don't or do, can also come as an adult. And something I wish I would have taken advantage of in high school. Now that I work in that environment, I think people would just be shocked to see the opportunity, the equipment, the facilities that we try to put in front of students to give them a great education.
You know, used to call it VOTEC. Always had this little stigma, you know, that, oh, well, yeah, you're not going to college. That's the other way to go. And it's reversed. And I think what you're doing with your outreach and your open houses and things, if you can get them in the building, they can see just what the opportunities are.
And I tell people that all the time. You know, the kids that come to us are very sharp kids. You know, it just may not be in, they may not be passionate about English or math or things like that, but they can read a blueprint and they can weld something together or create something. And so kids that come to Career Tech, I mean, it's just amazing to see what they accomplish. And we see kids that come out of, maybe they struggle at their home high school, and they'll be a student of the year at Chisholm Trail because they found what they needed.
Yeah, you've awakened their direction, you know, their interest.
And our partner schools have been great. Our 5 schools, they understand the need to get students into Career Tech programs. They work very hard to get as many kids with us because it's a partnership. You know, we work and represent the same people that they do. And so we try to work very well together that we can make sure we get as many of their students onto our campus. And it's a benefit for both sides.
So what are your participating schools?
So our 5 schools, Kingfisher, Lomega, and Watonga were the 3 original. Dover schools joined in 2014, and then Thomas Fay Custer joined in 2023. And so our district actually spans, if you were to drive it, about 60 miles from Dover to Custer City. So that's been exciting.
Is it 2 counties or 3?
So we've got Kingfisher County, we've got schools in Blaine County, we've got schools in Dewey, that go into Dewey County, and then I believe Custer County.
Okay.
So
right.
four counties. Now, not every school in those counties is in our district. There are a few that aren't in a district, and then there's some that are in other Career Tech districts. So we don't serve every school in those counties, but the schools we do serve cover four counties.
Wow. For some reason, I always thought it was just Kingfisher County. I didn't realize it had that big of a footprint.
So you've got Cashin. Like Cashin's a part of Francis Tuttle. You know, they're closer to the city, but would be Kingfisher County.
Yep.
And so, anyway, we're excited about the future with those schools.
Awesome. Kurt, thank you so much
You
for
bet.
hanging out with me this morning. And if you want more information, is it cttc.com?
EDU.
EDU.
Yes.
Got to get the EDU. Okay. cttc.edu.
Cttc.edu.
Yeah.
Kind of a tongue twister.
Yeah, what he said. And of course, anytime they can call the school.
Yes.
And the staff is very helpful and can get you a student for a tour or whatever.
Yes.
And parents, get out there because you have to experience it. It's a very, very neat environment, and we thank you for all you do.
Thank you. We'll see you in August.
Thanks, Kurt.
Yep.
Stay tuned.